And that meant so much to me. I had closure that I was waiting for 10 years. Most importantly, for the first time in my life, I stopped blaming myself. Second, I felt like I'm not alone, which is huge. Because for 10 years, the only person really knew was Mike and an immigration officer, Mario, and my cat, Mario. But they were the only ones who knew what was really happened to me. And I felt alone for 10 years. Very lonely, beyond lonely. Because who could anybody possibly understand? I can't open up, even if I was dating with, how did you, that's the first thing people ask, how do you come to Canada? I came as a babysitter. Let's just use that version, you know? That's the Bob Disney version, or PG 12, yeah. Anyway, so when I realized that, I was angry, I was happy, I was crying, laughing. Awesome, thank you. You're so good. Thank you. Laughing. And that's when I realized that I would like to do something about it. And so that's how I started Walk With Me Canada Victim Services. It was a victim service agency. With the Safe House, that's when Rob Hooper came along. And that's when we started working with victims of human trafficking. And can I just say, we had no idea what we are doing. But apparently sometimes it worked. Sometimes it didn't work. And sometimes it worked, but it was an honor. And so we set up the Safe House. We worked with over now 450 individuals. And we had, that's pictures of the Safe House. We had the organization till 2015 until we just were tired, exhausted. Mainly we were exhausted of not getting enough funding. I mean, I worked for $1 an hour. I mean, if that's not slavery, I don't know what it is. But no one forced me to do it, but eventually I just said I can't do it anymore. So we closed that agency. But then we started training where we started actually training law enforcement. And that's when I realized that awareness is so important. And a short version of this story is that I was presenting to 250 OPP officers. And before I started the training, I would say, how many of you know what human trafficking is? Barely see any hands. I share my story, explain everything, signs, detection. And at the end now, how many of you think you've seen trafficking victim? And they put their hand up. So this officer put up his hand at the very back, and I'm like, oh, sir, would you like to come and share your story? He's like, no. I'm like, okay, you got the gun, got the last word, whatever. So we finished the whole conference, we go to the back, signing books, he comes up and he's bawling his eyes out. I usually love talking to cops, you know, because they don't want to hug you. I love hugs, just saying. But cops don't usually try to hug you with all the gear on them, so it's all good, you're safe, whatever. But he comes up and he's bawling his eyes out. I'm like, oh, do I hug him? What do you do? He's tall, big. But mainly I was just shocked. I don't know what happened to him. So I said, sir, can you please tell me, are you okay? How can I help? He's like, remember when you asked us if we've seen a victim before? I said, yeah. He's like, I saw you. I said, what? He goes, I saw you. My job was sitting in your motel parking lot. We were there to watch for drugs. I saw you coming and going for 3 months. So that particular day, I actually went into more details of how we were abused in the hotel. So he goes, when you told me your story, everything that happened to you happened on my watch. So I had to take a moment because I could only imagine how he felt, and I felt really responsible. So I gave him a hug and I said, look, I didn't know I was a victim of human trafficking, and you didn't know what human trafficking was. There was no training, there was no language, there's nothing like that. So please do not blame yourself because you didn't know. So the didn't, shouldn't, could have, let's leave it in the past. My question is, what would you like to do about it now that you know?